Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this important event in your doctoral journey. We call it the Virtual Orientation Day, but of course, it's less than 3 hours, so maybe Virtual Orientation Quarter Day. All right, congratulations, first of all, on being accepted to the program. As you know, the doctoral is a terminal qualification in any country and in any environment. And of course, this is very, very important for you to understand, what journey you are embarking on. Therefore, we thought we'd use this opportunity to orientate you and induct you partially into this program so that you understand this journey of yours, this critical and very important journey you have chosen. And of course, being selected to the program is also, your first success point in this entire journey. I am joined by some of the important people in the school. First of all, my name is Prof. Govender. I head up the doctoral program. I will introduce you to Professor Martins, who is the dean of the school, and of course, Professor Colette Muller, who is the college dean of research and postgraduate studies. All right, and of course, we are supported by the school ops manager, our specialists from Moodle and Turnitin, from the library information services, as well as student support services. All right, we just thought we'll alert you to the kind of support that's available to you, and so that you can use the facilities and of course explore this further as you go through your journey. Now, if you have any questions, you're welcome to put them on the chat, and we'll respond, or the relevant people will respond, failing which I will attempt to respond if it's an overall question. I now have the pleasure of inviting our Graduate School of Business and Leadership Dean, Professor Anna Martins, to please introduce herself and welcome you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Krishna Lavender. Good morning, everybody. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Graduate School of Business and Leadership.
Can we get your video, please, Dean?
Sorry, can you?
We can't see your video.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I think maybe they want to see your face.
It's on. Can you not see?
Okay, maybe I can't see. Okay, fine. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem, no problem. Can you hear me as well?
Clear? Loud and clear.
So as I was saying, good morning, everybody. My name is Professor Anna Martins, and I would like to welcome everybody to the Graduate School of Business and Leadership. And I wish to congratulate each and every one of you on having secured your place in the doctoral program. Indeed, on this day, the 4th of March, 2023, it is an important day of the year for all of us. And therefore, it is with enormous delight that I welcome you, our doctorand students. As you will be aware, we have prepared this orientation session so every one of you can familiarize yourselves with all the internal stakeholders that are linked to the GSB&L, to the College of Law and Management, and also to the university as a whole. I wish each and every one of you every success at the Graduate School of Business and Leadership in the university. Take up this time to ensure that you gain the valuable skill set that you will need across the journey of life. And I'm confident that your learning experience here will be an immensely enriching one. I therefore, on this note, then hand over to Prof. Krishna Govender, who will proceed with today's session. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you for those warm words. I would now like to introduce Professor Colette Muller, who is the College Dean of Research, to take us through this journey as well. Thank you, Colette.
Thank you very much, Prof. Govender. Thank you, Prof. Martins. It gives me great pleasure to be here with not only my colleagues this morning, but also yourselves as recent entrants, and perhaps even there might be some students who have already been in the doctoral program who are here this morning. So I welcome you as well. As Prof. Govender has said, the doctoral program is a terminal program to your studies. And part of it is very exciting because you're reaching to the sky in this point, and you're so close to achieving one of those very sought after qualifications that, to be blunt, many people don't get the opportunity to complete. So this is really a pivotal moment, in the sense that you are now being afforded the opportunity to explore your research interests together with your supervisor, who will be allocated to you by your school if they hasn't already been done so. And this provides a really unique opportunity for you to contribute to knowledge. And that really is what a doctoral program is about. And along this journey, you might be thinking, yes, but I've already done research and, I didn't really like it, but here I am anyway. Or, yes, I've already done research and it was such smooth sailing, and that's why I've chosen to do my doctoral degree. However you've come to this point, just know that your PhD studies are going to be a journey of ups and downs and roundabouts and backs and forths. And along the way, there is a team that is dedicated to helping you. That team comprises all of the colleagues at the Graduate School of Business and Leadership, including the administrative staff, as well as your direct supervisor. And then at the college, which is where I am based, we have an overarching support mechanism which is there to assist. Now, in terms of where I fit in, usually the college office is not directly involved in terms of managing your day-to-day operations or engagements as a PhD student. That being said, where the college office comes in terms of administrative support is right at the end of your journey, when your thesis is finally going to be examined, and it's the that anticipation of getting your examination reports back and hopefully being able to proceed through to graduation. That's where I come in, because I oversee that examinations process together with the administrative colleagues in the college office. But most of the support that you will be offered comes prior to that within your school. That being said, what I would urge you to do as doctoral students is to take advantage of any support that is offered to you as it comes along. That support is obviously the direct support from your supervisors, the various programs and initiatives that your school will put in place to assist you along the way to reach certain milestones. Prof. Govender is going to take you through those today in terms of exactly what the expectations are of you as you start now as a newly registered student and move towards defending your research proposal, applying for ethical clearance, collecting your data, writing up your literature review, etc. These are all milestones which your supervisor will guide you through, but which the school and the college will have at various intervals certain activities or initiatives planned that will assist you along the way. And if for some reason you don't meet or can't attend one of those sessions, if they're virtual, we do try to record them and then the sessions are made available to you. But if they're in-person sessions, you will find that at some point those things get re-offered. Obviously, because our students move through the system. This isn't a once-off thing that we've done. We've graduated many students in the past. We hope to graduate yourselves and many other students going forward. So the program of interventions and assistance is continuous. I would urge you, as you can, to take advantage. I know it's difficult because, especially with students in the Graduate School of Business and Leadership, many of you are not full-time students per se. You're full-time employees and full-time parents and full-time other things. That being said, I urge you to take through part of whatever initiatives you can and whatever additional development opportunities come your way. That's the reason for this is twofold. The first is obviously any additional input is going to benefit how your thesis unfolds, how your research unfolds, your ability to engage, etc. Secondly, though, the community that gets developed or formed around you through the engagement is really important. You not need to think that you should just engage with your supervisor. And in fact, it's encouraged that you engage beyond your supervisor so that the journey is less lonely. Obviously, in a virtual setting, it's become probably even more lonely than it has been previously, but our campuses are now open. So you're welcome to come onto campus and to engage with colleagues there with appointments if you need to. And in terms of some of the sessions which are offered, these virtual sessions become a way of engaging or finding out who else is with you on this journey and where they're at. And the in-person sessions which get offered will also be a way of allowing you to connect with your fellow students. And that peer support, that community support is really important. So I'm not going to spend much more time with you this morning, other than just to say, I encourage you to take advantage of any opportunities that come your way. If there are any problems, please engage with the relevant colleagues in your schools to try and sort those out. You're welcome to contact me directly once you've exhausted any avenues, and perhaps there are certain peculiarities which just haven't been able to be resolved, and I will do what I can also to assist you in that respect. That being said, the colleagues you are in the hands of very capable colleagues, and I know that they will be assisting you to the best of their abilities going forward. So thank you very much. I hope you have a great morning with Prof. Govender, and that this is the first time that you get to take in a lot of information. It might be too much, in fact, but a lot of information that's going to help you along the way to ensure that your doctoral journey is a smooth and rewarding one. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Colette. And I just want to extract one thing you mentioned there, which is important for the students to understand, is that you don't get involved as a college dean in operational matters. That's a school matter. So as the last point of call, as it were, if they've exhausted all avenues within the school. Otherwise, you're going to, everyone's going to bog you down, because you have more, as I said, you have several schools to exercise oversight on. All right. So we need to emphasize that the school is the most important unit that will support the students on the doctoral journey. And of course, once it's handed for examination, it becomes a college matter, and then you'll support wherever we can. But thank you very much for those warm words and for the encouragement you provide the students. And of course, we're going to be emphasizing those very same, what you call, sentiments throughout today. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like now to invite a current student, Ms. Samantha Naik, to share her experiences. Samantha registered last year, the doctoral program, and I've had interactions with her, besides she having interaction with the supervisor. And perhaps she give you some first-hand experience so that you can understand what this journey entails. Samantha, would you please go ahead?
Hi, thank you, Professor. I feel quite honored to have been asked to speak today. As a current doctoral candidate, DBA student, I'm quite excited to share. I have much to share. Just to give you a little bit of background, I am in my first year, and I'm still at proposal stage, and hopefully in the next few weeks, I'll be able to submit my final proposal to my supervisors. And that will be the end of, one very big milestone. So I'm quite excited about that. I also live up in Johannesburg. I am an architectural professional, so I have an architectural consultancy which I run. I'm also a business advisor. So, we talk about balance, but bringing all these things together is quite important. I have put together a very short presentation, and I'll try to be quite brief, and I'm going to share my screen. Please do let me know if you can see this.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, that's perfect. All right, so the biggest piece of advice I can give you is, as soon as this webinar is done, is start engaging with your supervisors. keep that relationship solid and respectful at all times. Remember that your proposal, as it stands, the proposal application that you've sent through, will not be your final proposal. I remember when Professor Govender said this to us last year at our orientation, I didn't think that applied to me, because I thought, no, I'm good to go. My topic's great. I know exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go for it. But a few months down the line, and I've gone through many iterations. So the proposal as it stands is not going to be your final one. Send an email to your supervisors sooner rather than later. Attach your latest proposal and get that process started. Just in terms of my interactions with my supervisors, they are absolutely brilliant. Sometimes getting feedback from your supervisors can be quite difficult. I think mostly you will tend to focus on the negatives that come up, and it can be quite nerve-wracking. But, just breathe and try to put it into perspective. I think once you've gotten past the negatives and you've dealt with them, you will start seeing the positives. Next, a great orientation book that I found quite useful is Insights on Doctoral Research by Dr. Magesh Naidu. Within this book, he talks about the best way to eat an elephant is one small piece at a time. And it's so true. You just have to put that one step in front of the other every day, baby steps sometimes. Sometimes there'll be leaps. Sometimes there'll be bounds. But the book has incredible information within it. There's also a folder structure for your DBA, which I used. And I just updated it based on my requirements. So please do read this book. It will be at the library as well, so you're able to download. It was put out, it's available freely, of course, and Dr. Magesh Naidu put it out after his doctoral research so that he could help those that came after him. Now, this is an interesting one. The journey is humbling on an almost daily basis. And, it shows me how much I need to learn sometimes. But the learning that follows, through asking and reading is extremely rewarding. The moment that penny drops and you get that concept or that idea or clarification, can be quite exciting. In terms of planning, I think at this stage, you should all be quite well planned. I mean, you've achieved something exceptional by getting into the doctoral program. But be extremely well planned. For me, it's generally 3 months in advance, and it includes work commitments, studies, lectures, family time, your milestones. And when it comes to your milestones, please do factor in rewards for your milestones. Nothing better than a reward, a holiday, wine tasting in Cape Town, or a day off when you've achieved a milestone. So be very well planned. Ensure that your admin is done timeously for the school. Make sure that you register timeously. Do your progress reports. Fees are up to date. Take minutes. This is quite important. Take minutes. During your sessions with your supervisors. Record your sessions. That's quite essential. I usually do my minutes and then I use the recordings, and it just backs up what and it reinforces what has been spoken about. And timing of your submissions to your supervisors is quite important. It's not always, it doesn't always work out that you are able to coincide your submissions with what is happening in your supervisor's timetable, because everyone's so busy. But you can ask the question, when are you going on holiday? When are you going on sabbatical? Because the last thing you want to do is to submit something the day someone's going on sabbatical or holiday. So try to keep that in mind. Right, so the power of perseverance, keep going. Sometimes it's going to feel like it's 10 steps forward and 5 steps back, or 20 steps back. But this is part of the process, Take a break, either completely or take a break to read. Sometimes I can struggle with an idea to understand something. But going through the process, of reading about a concept or an idea that you're struggling with can sometimes take you down a rabbit hole. You start with an idea, you go down the rabbit hole, and then you find that you sometimes get back to that initial idea. But now, having read and researched, coming back to that initial idea can be quite powerful, because you have confidence in that idea. So focused reading is very important. So upskilling as well through reading is important, but so too are the courses and the lectures that the department, the school, and the library, Dr. Baharilal and his team will run, amazing courses, support courses on academic writing and referencing or plagiarism. Professor Govender will also hopefully run his courses this year on research methodology. So get as much as possible out of these sessions. You will get slides as well, but do take notes and reflect and write in your journal about these sessions and the gems that have come out for you and what's been impactful. There is also on Learn 2022, and I think it will be available on Learn 2023 soon, Thesis Lab, which has courses on all aspects of your proposal and then your eventual thesis. And information on that will be sent to you. Right, when it comes to balance, and it's different for all of us, I can generally do anything between 1 and 9 hours every day that I can devote towards my DBA, depending on what's happening in my life. But I make sure that I take time out to spend with my husband and chat to my mum and dad who live down in Durban. And when you need a break, take a break. I personally, I do this through exercise and meditating and playing the piano. And some of my greatest ideas or clarification has come when I've been meditating, and also when I've been talking to my husband. I share my journey with my husband mostly, and it helps put things into perspective at times. He also challenges me on my topic, and that can be quite annoying, but it helps bring perspective, and I'm learning not to be so defensive about a topic that I'm quite passionate about. So yes, please make sure that you have family support. Some of my biggest challenges this year has been, as it's been related to family, and it's been unintentional from their side. It's mostly related to them wanting to spend more time with me, or wanting to be me to be at a social event. But you've got to handle this quite delicately, and don't alienate people. You have to communicate, and you have to try to communicate how intense this journey is for you. My parents finally get it. Well, to a certain extent. In terms of work support, I have my consultancy, so I work for myself. But, I have studied before while I worked. I did my MBA right at the beginning while I worked. And you must have the support of your supervisor, your director, and, people within the company that can, assist you on your journey. You will need them as you go along. So no one's going to truly understand this journey more than your fellow students or those who have gone before you. So, I urge you to start a DBA support group. Last year we started a DBA support or DBA PhD WhatsApp support group. And it's been an amazing journey for all of us. We all take responsibility for sharing information with each other for the greater good of all of us. And so start this group and support each other, encourage each other, share with each other, and forge amazing relationships. You have to celebrate each other's milestones, small or big. And then just briefly, I want to talk about this original contribution. I think it's very important you understand as a doctoral candidate what this is and what this isn't. And I'm going to leave you with that homework. Just delve a little bit deeper into that original contribution. And it's going to assist you as you look for your gaps and you do your reading and your research going forward. In terms of purpose and motivation, now this is a big one. And for some of us, the reason we're doing our DBAs is for those who have the generations that have passed, who have not had the opportunity to embark on this journey, this amazing journey that we're all on. We do it for them. For some of us, it's a stepping stone to achieving your life's purpose and what you will be doing for the next 5 to 10 years, maybe more, in making a difference to people's lives. And for others, you've identified a real problem out there and you want to help alleviate it. And sometimes, in my case, all of these things come together. And it's quite powerful, this focusing on your purpose and why you're embarking on this journey and why you're doing your DBA. That's going to be your ultimate motivation. Right, so I'm almost done, but just to share a few thoughts from my diary. At the front of my diary, I have written, and the title is How to Get Going When the Struggle is Real. And it reads, don't stop, keep reading. Every time you read, you will discover something new about what is concerning you at that point in time. Then, time for free writing and journaling. Write on your thoughts, ideas, and your topic. Then here, something from Robin Sharma. There is no mastery without relentless, consistent, and brave-hearted practice. And I've added, especially on the days you don't feel like practicing. Set time aside every day to read, write, and research, and then you can reward yourself for work well done. So I'd just like to wish you all well on your journey. Good luck, keep healthy, keep happy, use your creativity as you embark on this journey. And congratulations, because you were accepted to do your DBA. That is actually the first step that has been accomplished.
Yeah, thank you very much, Samantha. I think, it is good that they hear it from somebody who's in the depth of things as a student, and they understand the reality. I think you mentioned, all the ingredients of success, he spoke about balance, he spoke about focus, he spoke about, a relentless pursuit, because clearly one has to admit that this journey is not going to be easy. It's going to be, demanding, and as even Prof. Colette and even the Dean, Prof. Martin mentioned, it's about balancing your work life, family life, etc. And Samantha mentioned that, you need to, it's a very delicate relationship within the family. I know, especially many of us who are first generation kind of university students, especially coming up with a doctorate, you can tell your family and friends you're busy with a doctorate. It's only you who understand what this journey is all about. To them, it's very theoretical. It's very theoretical. So just try to manage that. And of course, in the latter part, in my session, I'm going to take you through this journey, and I'm going to emphasize and reiterate some of the things which Samantha mentioned, as well as the Dean and the College Dean of Research. All right, with that said, now I'm going to introduce you to our school ops manager, Mr. Dashen Naika, who's going to run through some administrative matters. Thank you, Dashen.
Thank you, Prof. Krishna, and thank you for the colleagues that have preceded me. I think we're having a really inspiring morning this morning on the 4th of March. The Dean's welcome, Prof. Colette, and encouragement to the students. And Samantha, wow, what an inspiration to our students in terms of guidance, in terms of being motivated and passionate about this wonderful journey that you're on. And I think they often refer to it as a terminal qualification. I think of it more as the pinnacle of your studies, And my job as head of professional services in the school is to maybe not inspire you as much as my other colleagues, but to maybe settle some fears that you might have about administration and about making your journey less stressful so that we can be of great support to you in the school. I'm going to share a few slides with you this morning, just to help us make notes of, a few important things. So if you can just confirm that you can see my presentation.
We can see.
I guess you can. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to look at, for this morning, the importance of good professional service, especially when it comes to the doctoral program, the contact details of your higher degrees administrator, a few important sessional dates. There are not too many for doctoral students, fortunately, in terms of administration, but I'll speak to you about that when I get there. A few important school guidelines pertaining to maybe plagiarism and the process of how you consolidate and prepare your work. Communication protocols in the school and university, and a little bit on safety and security when you do visit our campuses. So just to get started, let's talk about good professional services and what it does for you as a doctoral student on this doctoral journey. For one, it supports your total doctoral experience, your total learning experience in the doctoral program. So the team and I, and I'm well supported by Zarina Buliraj, will try as far as possible to ensure that you are not too bogged down by challenges that might be of an administrative nature. We want to provide as much support to you so that you can focus on the business that you are supposed to be focused on, and that's the journey of the doctoral program. It also promotes and enhances an efficient working environment for your supervisors. So that's what Zarina and myself are here for. We want to, and obviously Professor Krishna, we want to make sure that you, our doctoral student, and your supervisors have an efficient environment in which to operate and to assist you on this journey. It also obviously cultivates a satisfying working experience for our professional services staff when we offer this kind of service. Moving on then, I think most of you are probably well aware by now that your administrator for the doctoral programs, PhD and DBA, is Zarina Buliraj. I have on the screen contact details. And if for whatever reason you might have to make at some point a personal visit to the school, she can be found at the Graduate School of Business ground floor in room 59. If you haven't met Zarina yet, she's actually in the room this morning. But yeah, we have a picture of her. So Zarina is the one behind your assistance in applications, registration, and right up until you're ready to actually submit. If for any reason you're unable to get hold of Zarina, we also have our Dean's PA, Muskiru Naidu. Her contact details are there. We'll obviously post this information on our website, and it's already available there. So if you cannot contact Zarina for any particular reason, you can always email the PA to the Dean. She will redirect those emails. I've put up a few important sessional dates, but for you doctoral students, there's really just 2 dates that should be important at this stage. It's the 6th of April. If you are already registered and for whatever reason come 6th of April or before, you need to withdraw, the final date for withdrawal from a program at university is actually the 6th of April. So that's really the only important date for you at this stage in terms of sessional dates. The others that I've cited, they're actually more applicable to our undergraduate students and our master's students and postgraduate diploma students. I've raised the issue about some important guidelines. I think the most important guideline I can give any doctoral student is the issue of plagiarism and dishonesty. Unfortunately, we have to touch on this. There are definite penalties involved with that. I'm not going to go through most of them that are here, except to tell you that there are consequences, if people don't reference, or should I say, if the work is found to be related to some sort of act of plagiarism, the university has definite consequences for that. I think the most important one is that a student may be excluded for a minimum of 2 semesters if found guilty, and it can obviously be even more dire than that. So just to not to spoil your morning okay, is everything fine, Prof?
Yeah, I think you went, it buffered a little bit, but it's okay, you're back. I could hear you again.
Okay, as long as I'm back and everyone can hear me and see me, I'm happy to go on. As far as communication in the school is concerned, we encourage all doctoral students, in fact, all our students are encouraged, and not encouraged, it's a must that when you communicate with the school, please do so using your student email. If you want to copy in your private email or your personal email, you're welcome to do that. If you're using your personal or private email to send the communication, then copy in your student email onto that correspondence. This is really critical in terms of retrieving information and also in terms of our assistance to you. So be sure to do that. We encourage all students to at least visit the Moodle platform as regularly as possible. In the case of doctoral students, I don't think twice a day will be really that necessary, but we really encourage most of our students to visit it at least twice a day. But I would encourage you to at least visit that once a day as a doctoral student, because you might have important notices up there, invitations when it comes to doctoral workshops, etc. Important forms are also posted on Moodle. So please be sure to visit that on a regular basis. Also, student emails, I think you'll be encouraged to examine and retrieve your emails on a daily basis. As I said, important notices, documents, invitations, etc. will be found there. I think just before I move on, I can't overemphasize the importance of copying in your student email on all correspondence to the graduate school and to your supervisors, not just the administrative staff. I know from time to time, there might be the occasion where a student has to maybe face an issue that might be raised as a grievance. We have a student disciplinary rule book. So that will be made available to you on our orientation website. If you refer to page 2 of that booklet, it runs you through the protocols for any kind of grievance that you want to lodge with the school or university. We encourage students to follow that protocol. That's the best way in which to have your issues addressed and resolved. As far as safety on campus goes, now we know that doctoral and postgraduate students have to their availability all our campus sites, Westville, Howard College, Peter Maritzburg, and even Edgewood campus. And this is if you want to make use of the libraries and land facilities on those sites. So we encourage students to always be cautious about their safety. If you feel threatened in any kind of way, recognize some sort of behavior that you deem to see as risky, it's important to report this to our risk management services. I'll put up the number at the end of this slide. If you are ever on campus in the evenings, you wish to be chaperoned from your car to the library or to a land facility on any of our campuses, you can do so by organizing with our risk management services. They'll be happy to assist you with that. The campus is a relatively safe environment, and we try to keep it that way at all times. But if for any reason you feel uncomfortable in the evening especially, and you want that kind of assistance, it's made available to you. So be sure to contact our risk management services for that chaperone service, either from a venue, from your car to a venue, etc. I'm just going to move on then. Yeah, as I said to you, the important number that I think all of you should take note of is the number quite in bold there at the bottom of your screen. It's the number of our risk management services. They are open 24 hours a day. They will take your call if you need any type of assistance in terms of directions, guidance, security, chaperone. They will be able to provide that to you. I think before I conclude, what I'd like to do is just highlight a few of the challenges that we've noticed that doctoral students have experienced in terms of applications. What we found is that over the last few months, many of the applications that we are receiving are not coming through in the format that we've indicated to you on our website. And that is, all documents should be in PDF format. Some of these documents are coming through in Word format, but even worse, some of them are coming through as photographs, as JPEGs. We really encourage all our applicants, if you want your if you're sitting here this morning and you're not yet registered and your application is still being processed, or you're about to complete an application, please do so in the format stipulated on our website. Those documents should be converted to PDF format. Photographs won't be accepted. It just delays your application process. So please be sure to do that. It makes for easier administration for yourself and a timely process in terms of completing the application in the correct format will help in having that resolved, and you can register as early as possible. Registration challenges. In terms of registration, we found that many students who complete the registration process have made a little error in terms of not selecting fee remission, especially this pertains to those of you who've selected full-time study. So if you are a full-time doctoral student and you qualify obviously for fee remission, be sure to select the fee remission tab that appears on the registration pages. If you fail to do that, then you have to, it becomes a convoluted process in terms of getting fee remission. So if you haven't completed registration, about to do so, please pay attention to that. Be sure to select fee remission if you are a full-time student. In terms of outstanding fees, we know that sometimes students have two types of fees that need to be sorted out before they can complete registration. They might have historical debt, or they might have a registration fee to pay. Both of those need to be done in order to complete your registration. If you're having difficulty being cleared, be sure to send your proof of payment to our Westville Fees department. And that's quite a straightforward email. It's westvillefees@ukzn.ac.za. I think that about wraps up my few reminders to you. We wish you well on your journey. And if there's any assistance that both Zarina and myself can give you, we'll be sure to do that. Remember that if you have any administrative challenges, the first person you contact is your doctoral administrator, that's Zarina Boliraj. if you are unable to have success through that avenue, and I'm pretty sure you will have more success than a failure, because Zarina is pretty determined to ensure that every student query is attended to, then you can also call me, you can also email me if you need to, in order to see what the problems might be or the challenges might be. I wish you all the best on this journey. As I said, it's the pinnacle of your studies. We really wish you not luck, because luck can help you only that much. We wish you that you put in the best effort, and that we are here to support you and make this journey a more pleasant one for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dashen. Thank you very much. And I like to emphasize that, you know, much of what Dashen has been talking about is referred to as the back office developments. And of course, many of you have had, I must apologize upfront, challenges with technology. You know, technology is always in a state of development. So we don't say we 100% in terms of our administrative systems and support services. But many of you have had frustrations, and I must apologize on behalf of the institution. And it's not Zarina. I know you sometime direct those frustrations at Zarina, but let me assure you that she's there to support you, not to fight with you. You know, I've seen some of the emails when you get frustrated, Zarina, you write to me. I can understand your frustrations. And you know, you want to focus on the academic aspects of your journey. And clearly, even myself, I don't want to be distracted by the administrative things. Unfortunately, you have to conform with to the administrative requirements and make sure that all the boxes are ticked before you get, you know, your application is processed thoroughly, and before you go to the registration stage. Yes, there might be lags in terms of our turnaround, but please understand that there's volumes to be dealt with in terms of applicants. And, you know, we are working behind the scenes tirelessly to try and get you to the podium, as it were. And of course, I think Dashen emphasized, you know, the what do you call it? The apex qualification, you know, meaning the ultimate qualification one to achieve. So therefore, you know, going through this journey entails both dealing with administrative matters as well as academic matters. And of course, if you abide by the rules and regulations, then your journey henceforth post-registration becomes much smoother. If you don't comply with rules and regulations, that is when you find that you'll be taken back, and you know, and of course, you need to comply. You need to submit, you know, applications, appeals, etc., etc. So ideally, you'd like to have a smooth journey. We'd like to ensure that you have what you call a delightful experience. I think many of you have been dealing with Zarina, you know, via technology. You have not seen her. Zarina, would you please, maybe many of them would like to see your face briefly, so that when they are sending you an email, they know the person they are sending the email to. If you don't mind, Zarina, can you just show us your video briefly so that students can see who they're dealing with? Yes, this is Zarina, if you know, the person that giving you a hard time. All right. Okay, now she's pro student. I can assure you, all of us are pro student, but there's, you know, we say there's roles to be played by yourself, and there's roles to be played by our support services. Thank you, Zarina. And you want to say something, Zarina? Or you want to say, you're on mute?
I'd just like to say good morning, prospective and current students. Welcome to the, I would say, the first postdoctoral orientation for the year 2022. I wish you all the best in your future studies. Thank you.
Yeah, we're in 2023, Zarina. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you, colleagues. All right. I'm noticing the chats as well, and I'm noticing that you're engaging with each other, which is very good. Remember, from a copy perspective, we can't share your personal information with other students, right? But you are welcome as students to interact with each other, form virtual groups, because as we said, this journey can be very lonely. You need to know that there are people around who are going through the same journey and you're not suffering alone, right? So please, I like this. I see people are interacting and forming groups and networking, which is great. And I'm happy that this is an opportunity for you. Samantha used this opportunity last year as well to start building up this virtual groups, WhatsApp groups, etc. So you please engage with each other as much as possible, and you learn from each other as well. Okay. Thank you very much. Continue posting your what you call it, questions, queries. I'm trying to read the chats while I'm listening to my colleagues as well. I don't know, we have Dashin, do we have Vasu yet?
Yes, we do have Vasu there. Chair, there's just been some beautiful contributions in the chats for Zarina. Zarina, thank you for holding the fort so well, and this is testimony to the kind of service you provide. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That's why I wanted them to see a face. I saw those beautiful messages. You know, sometimes Zarina gets frustrated as well, understandably so, but she must remember that there's people who are quite happy and pleased with all the support she's giving them, especially at this crucial stage of this journey. All right. Thank you. Now, Vasu, can you please come in? Good morning. I now hand you over, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, to a senior colleague from the IT department. We'll talk through some of the things that Mr. Naika alluded to about what you call Turnitin, and of course, critical to us as a virtual institution, because you know, we a postgraduate, more especially a doctorate institution where we don't have, ideally we don't have classes and modules. So much of your learning will be online, and much of our communication takes place via the student learning management system or platform, which is Moodle. I now hand you over to Vasu Chetty to talk through these two critical tools that are going to be used by yourselves and us.
Morning, colleagues. Morning. Thanks, Prof. Hello, Anna. And morning, students. It's been a while since I've done this. Usually, my colleagues have taken over this role, but it seems we are losing lots of people at the institution. So, unfortunately, you settled with me today. I hope I'm clear and audible, and you don't have any issues. Okay. I think I'll just get straight into it. I can stop my video now. I don't want to scare people too much. Let's open up. Share my screen. Okay, let me know if you can see that. I think it's up and running.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right. So students, I think you're very fortunate to be in this particular program. I don't mean to be biased, but the GSB are very well organized in terms of postgraduates. I work with a lot of schools around the university, and I can tell you Dashen and his team are quite amazing. They do really good work. So you're in good hands and you'll get excellent support. I'm hoping you can get the same IT support that you get at the GSB. All right. So my talk is very short, very simple. It's around key topics that you will need. And if you haven't been at the university before, if you haven't done your undergrad here and you're starting your postgrad, there's some navigation that's required on your side. And hopefully we can assist you to make that a lot easier. All right. So we'll start with Moodle, our learning management system. So this is probably the most important thing for you guys, especially if your lectures are going to be online and you're not going to have too much of contact time. So Moodle is the university's learning management system, and to access it, the address is up here, https://learn2023@ukzn.ac.za. So once you click on that link, it takes you to a Learn page or the Moodle page, and you click on the right-hand side, you put in your student number and your UKZN credentials, and you get into the site. And there's several things that's available on the site, and it just depends on what the lecturer puts up for you. So you can have PDF documents, you can have PowerPoint slides, video recordings, podcasts. So pretty much all your content can be on Moodle. It just depends how academics want to work with the platform. Some of them use a lot of content, some of them use pure content. It just depends on the academic, but all of the information that's required for your module will be found on Moodle. Some of the interesting things around it to make it a little more engaging for you, there's discussion forums where your academic can possibly put up a topic and you can all discuss it. It'll be moderated by the academic. So that's one of the good things around not being available. So even if the academic is not available at that time, the discussions can still take place with students and at any time, and it'll always be available to you. Right. The academic may also put up some assignments, and you know, it could be in the form of a short quiz. They could be time-based or not. So it really is, it's a platform to allow you to learn content, right? It's not really a testing tool per se. But there's also announcements on your notice board. They're important announcements to inform you. Remember, there's a test today, so that'll go out as an announcement, and that'll then be populated to your email address. So you'll get an email, you can open it up. So your email is sort of linked to Moodle. All right. If there are any questions, you can just put it in the chat, and then I'll pop in now. And let me just open the chat on my side. So if there are any questions, I'll try to take them at the same time. Okay, so nothing too significant just yet. Okay, so I think from your side, it's important to familiarize yourself with the tools so you can understand what's happening online and how you can work with it. Right, so I've already mentioned that all your content material can be posted onto Moodle, and there'll be instructions on how to use it. Right, so this, I know the GSB have used it for several years now, so they're well aware of how it works. They can also create lots of activities. I'd advise you to sort of engage in the activities. It's really a good way of learning, more especially. Assignments can be submitted onto Moodle. It depends if the lecturer wants you to submit it on Moodle or submit it via email. Those decisions will be taken at a course level. But for the most part, it is available to you if they ask you to submit it on Moodle. We have training manuals, instruction guides, all of those things, and some videos to show you how you can use the platform. Right? There's also a ULOP site, ulop.ukzn.ac.za. You'll find all of that at the teaching and learning site that shows you a lot of help files and videos on how to use Moodle. All right, so you definitely won't be lost in any way. I don't see any questions in the chat. Okay, so that's your introduction to Moodle. It's pretty straightforward. It's very easy. Maybe at the end of this, I'll show you what a Moodle site looks like, and then you can have a look-see. Turn it in. So Turn It In is the university's, so let's say it's the official text matching software. So whenever you submit an assignment, you have to submit it through Turn It in order for you to get a report, and then you can make that submission. So we use Turn It In at the institution for several reasons. I think most institutions around the country use it. It is the most expensive, but I think a few important points around it is it's text matching software. It's not plagiarism detection software. There isn't any plagiarism detection software available anywhere. So I think students need to understand this, and I'll give you some important pointers around understanding Turn It In. So when you start using Turn It In, it matches the content of your paper to other students in your class. So you'll all submit it into a class, and then it checks all of it. There's an algorithm that checks everything, and it gives you a total. And that total will tell you what is the total match count, how much of identical information there is in your paper to the other students in your class. That's the first thing. It also searches all of the internet, and it finds common words that you've used, common phrases that you've used, and it highlights it and indicates that it's taken off the internet. However, if you reference this correctly, then you won't have an issue with it. All right. And I think your lecturers can discuss referencing and that sort of thing with you. The next thing it does is, and why we use Turn It In is, so as a postgraduate student, you'll be engaging with databases, university databases that you get from the libraries, databases such as EBSCOhost, SabiNet, PubiNet, all of those databases. So when you take your content, if you if you're reading content from peer-reviewed articles that you'll find on databases, Turnitin actually interrogates those databases. So if you copied something of, let's say, Sabinet, for example, you took an entire paragraph, you've changed a few words, and you try to pass it off as your own, Turnitin will have a look at it, and it'll see that there's matching words, and it'll highlight it. So the reason we use Turnitin is because it interrogates those databases. Other text matching software don't interrogate those databases. All right. So it compares student submissions that are made. It also looks at archived internet documents, internet data, journals and publications. So it checks all of those things. So it's important for you to have an account. If you do not have an account, I'm going to show you how to create an account. And obviously this presentation will be made available to you guys, so you can go back and use it. If you have an account, very importantly, you must use your UKZN student email address when creating an account. You're only allowed one account. If you create multiple accounts, you will have a problem. And what we do, maybe I think it's every 4 weeks or 6 weeks, what we do is we remove all non-UKZN accounts. So let's assume you've created an account using your student email and you can't remember the password, then you go onto Gmail and you create a Gmail account. It lets you to get, it allows you to go in and you start working on it. When we clear out those accounts, that account will be deleted and all your content in that account will be removed with it. So all your papers, everything that you're working with will all be removed. Because we have a strict license policy at the institution. You're only allowed to use your UKZN email address when creating an account. There are ways, if you forget your password, there are ways in which you can retrieve the password. I'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, so if you're a first-time user on Turnitin, if you don't have an account, you'll need to create an account. I'll show you how you create an account, but before you create an account, I know some of you eager beavers are rushing off to Turnitin now. Before you create that account, it is important that your lecturer gives you a class ID and a password. Without that, you cannot create an account. So that's very important. You wait for your lecturer to give you a class ID and a password to get access into the account. All right, very important. So without that, you cannot move on. All right, so it's called an enrollment key or a class ID. Those are the two things that you need, right? That allows you to join a class. The Turnitin administrator cannot provide this information to you. Only your lecturers can do that. All right, so let's say we want to create an account. So importantly, the first thing, and very importantly, when you're working on Turnitin and Moodle, please use Chrome as a browser. You can use any other browser, but for your sanity and to ensure that you have very little problems, use Chrome. If you are using an Apple device, Safari is perfectly fine. I'll stay away from Internet Explorer, Edge, those type of things. Actually, as a life lesson, use Chrome for everything. Banking, browsing, everything. It's the best browser. It gets updated regularly. So the security around it is excellent. All right, so my advice to you is use Chrome. So www.turnitin.com, that's the address you need to use. Now there is another address, there's a UK account. Be careful you do not log on to that account or create it there. We do not use the UK version of Turnitin. We use the US version of it. You go to turnitin.com, you can either click on login, as you can see on the screen, or you can click on create account. Both would work. When you click on login or create an account, it takes you into this page. You're a new user, click here to create your account. All right. Creating a new student profile. So the class ID and the enrollment key I was talking about that your lecturer supplies, without that, you cannot pass the stage. So once you get that, and this is a once-off, the first lecturer that gives it to you, you're fine. Thereafter, I'll show you what you can do when you are in the class. All right, you put your ID, you insert your enrollment key, your first name and your last name. So my advice is to keep things really simple. So for example, if your name is Vasu Chetty, it's capital V, capital C. Always use that naming convention. Because Turnitin is very finicky, especially with passwords and usernames. My advice is keep it standard, keep it easy. You've got your ID, you've got your password, you put in your details. You've entered all of it. So your email address, confirm your email address, your password and security. So they'll give you some examples and say, listen, your password has to be 8 characters long and you can't have the same username and password. All of the so basic authentication principles need to be formed. All right, enter your password, confirm it. And it takes you to a page that allows you to select a secret question. So in the secret question, on the drop-down, it gives you a few options. Favorite car, first street you were born on, a whole favorite color. So my advice is choose the one that asks you your mother's maiden name, because that never changes. Your favorite color changes, your favorite car changes, your favorite boyfriend even changes. So please choose your mother's maiden name. And when you answer the question, capital of the first letter and the rest lowercase. If you have double-barrel surnames, please make sure that you take it exactly. You're going to insert it in here exactly like you're going to type it out later. So try not to complicate things. So if it's double-barrel, so for example, let's say it's Mary Smith. Capital M, Mary. Do you leave a space, put a hyphen? Do you leave another space? Write Smith. All of those things are very important because what happens when you're trying to log in, you're going to encounter these problems. So try to keep it simple. All right. Agree to the license agreement. I'm not a robot. Basic standard things when you create an account and your account is created. You log in with your email address, you put your password and you click, boom, bang, and you're in. No issues. I'm going to just pause here and check if there's anything in the chat that I need to speak about. Okay, good. Meetings. You have to request a class ID expecting our student email. Okay, so you can request the class ID. I think, I know you're eager, but your lecturers will provide these details to you. They'll either email it to you or they'll put it onto Moodle. So you will receive it at the right time. So don't worry about that. I'm based in Swaziland and I won't be a full-time student. I still need, okay, I can't help you with that. Supervisor informs you of the Turnitin details. Okay, well, Zarina's on the ball. Your supervisor will give you your Turnitin details. All right, we're moving smoothly here. So you're logging on to Turnitin. Everything is sorted out. Also, if you want to reset your password, so let's assume you try to log in and you can't get it. You can't, for some reason, it's not working. And generally, it won't work if you're using Internet Explorer and Edge. You'll have problems with those browsers. So if you need to reset your password, you put in your email address and your last name or your family name, and you click next, and it should take you in. All right. So once you logged in to Turnitin, this is what the interface looks like. Right. Well, you won't have any courses in the bottom here. Obviously, we've used somebody else's account. So what you will do is when you log in, you'll see something that says enroll in a class. You'll click on this. Once you click on that, you can then put in your username, your class ID and your enrollment key that was supplied to you by your lecturer or the instructor. All right, let's move on. All right, so that's what it looks like. It'll ask you for the class or the section ID. You put that in, you put the enrollment key, you click submit, and you'll join the class. There's some information that needs to be filled out. Your username, which is a valid email address. So remember, has to be a UKZN email address. Your password, you got that new password, you need to confirm it, your secret question, all of these things, all standard things that you need to work on, right? Nothing fancy here. Let's move on. Let's talk about this. I think it's a bit early to be talking about similarity reports. I think your supervisor and you can have that conversation a little later. But maybe just a brief overview on similarity reports. So once you submit your assignment on Turnitin, it goes into Turnitin, goes into a database, and then it gets processed. And usually they will send you a file to tell you what your percentage is. Right. Now remember, all of these things sit on the internet. Sometimes you may get the processing to be done immediately. Sometimes it may take 3 hours. Sometimes it may take 24 hours. It is on the internet. We have to wait for it. Relax, stay calm. You'll get a report. If it's more than 2 days, then you have a problem. But also, if you're using Chrome, it's highly unlikely you'll have any of these problems. All right, so similarity reports, I don't know if it'll make too much sense to you now, but you have the document viewer frame. That's where the author of the paper is, the title, that type of thing. And in the left-hand, so this is the full section of within where your paper will be submitted, and you will see it will highlight some of the sources. Right, we'll talk about what the highlighters what the highlights mean just now. So all of these things will be linked to your matching sources sidebar. All right. Just more information, your match overview, 4% here means there's similar text on the internet, 4%. It does not mean you plagiarized 4% of this assignment. All right. All sources. So if your lecturer clicks on all sources, it'll tell him exactly where you copied that data from, either another university or someone in your class or on the internet, etc., etc. Filters and settings, a bit more advanced. You can click on it. You can make some changes. If I don't want to submit it with the bibliography, if I want to exclude quotes, all of those things, but not important for now. So more on the similarity reports, you can download the current view. The digital receipt is what you're really looking for. But when your lecturer asks for the report, they want the digital receipt. So they want to see what was the total and that type of thing. All right, but lecturers that your lecturer will have access to go on to Turnitin and view all of the content without you sending it to them. Right, but they can discuss that with you. And if you want to download the originally submitted file, you can do that here. All right, so this is just information on the right-hand side. So when you're looking at your report, it gets highlighted with some text, with some colors. So if it's blue, there's no matching words. If it's green, that's a percentage, yellow, orange, red. So obviously, if it's red, it's a huge problem. There's a 75 to 100% match. The similarity exists on the internet. So your lecturer is looking to see the different colors. You say, hold on, I can see these colors and I can see that the student has either copied the contents or it's similar somewhere else, and then they can work with it. All right. Turnitin. I think before I go to Grammarly, there's something else I want to say. Oh, Turnitin, very important. So Turnitin sits in the US, which means there's an 8-hour time difference between us and the US. So if you're having any problems, it must be 8 hours before the US. Remember that. Your assignment due dates. If your assignment is due on the 25th of April, my suggestion is to load your assignments 3 to 4 days before that. Because when you have problems with Turnitin, and you will have problems with Turnitin, it takes a long time to resolve. Not because we're inefficient, it's just the way the system works. When you are dealing with people in the US, the time differences, the papers that were submitted, people do all sorts of things. So my advice to you is make sure you submit it early. You have a look at your report. You can make changes to it, work with your lecturer with it, and they will tell you exactly what needs to happen. If you come on the day that it's due and you're having problems and you need to remove a paper, for example, that takes a long time, 2 to 3 days at minimum. When we want to delete papers, we cannot delete any papers. It's not something that we have permission to do. We make a request to the US to say, listen, these are the papers that need to be removed. Please remove it. We wait for them to remove it, and then we let you know. So I think that the process has changed a little bit. I think now it's an online submission, but my advice to you is this process takes a long time if you're going to have problems. So get used to it, because in your honors year, and then you're going to use it in your master's level, and at your PhD level, we have several problems. So my advice is always submit it long before the due date. Before I go to Grammarly, I just want to speak about, let me see what's in the chat. Supervisor, okay, lecturers, right, just lecturers. I'm struggling to retrieve access my student email. I tried resetting my password. Is it possible to do a walk-in visit to campus for assistance? Yes, so please, Lukuleni. So we have walk-in centers, a bit of deviation. We have walk-in centers on all campuses at UKZN. So as a student, you come in, you say, this is my problem. They'll sort it out for you, most likely. Well, not if you broke up with your boyfriend, but if you have an IT problem. So if you want to reset your password, if you can't access Moodle, you want to install SPSS or in vivo, those type of things, all of those things, that's what the walk-in center is for. All right, we are on all campuses. And I think we open at 8 and we close at 4 or 4:30. I'm not sure, but that's the time. I know we do allow for resetting of passwords. I don't know what the WhatsApp number, we had a WhatsApp number. We have a call, you can send an email through and then they'll help you to do it. But obviously, if you can't log in with the password, then using your email is going to be a bit of a problem. All right. Okay, Grammarly, how am I doing for time? Am I taking too long? I need to wrap up here. We good? Okay, silence.
You got 10 minutes more.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Sachin. Grammarly. So Grammarly is an important tool that you will use. I find it extremely useful for myself. When you install Grammarly, UKZN owns the premium version. What it does, it corrects your grammar and your spelling, and it also teaches you at the same time. I know for myself, the mistakes that I was making, I stopped making those mistakes now when writing either an email or a report, just basic things. So it's a really good tool. So I think we've got about 25,000 licenses for all our students. Also, make sure you use your UKZN email address when creating an account. There is a process on how to create the account. You can use Grammarly on your email. You can use it on Word. So it's a really powerful tool. So when you want a Grammarly account, you send an email to learn@ukzn.ac.za. The subject must be Grammarly, and then we'll sort of take care of the rest for you. We'll create an account for you. We'll send you the invitation. So there's just a bit of administration around it. There's a few things you need to do. If you're a new user, you'll be prompted to use your UKZN credentials. If you already have an account, then you can re-log in. If you're not receiving the invitation email, so once we send you the details, we sort of send you an invite. You click on the invite and then you can start using Grammarly. But if you do not get the invite for some reason, so let's say it's taken more than 7 hours, you don't get it. It's usually pretty quick. You should get it within 30 minutes. If you do not get the invite, you need to check, or if you can add these email addresses to your contact list. So then it just bypasses it. So sometimes it sends it to your junk and your clutter folder. Check if it's not there. But if you can add these here to your contact list, that'll be perfect. All right. That's Grammarly. I don't see any questions on Grammarly. Oh, so how Grammarly works is so when you start working with it, your document is on your left-hand side, and automatically it starts populating on the right-hand side. It tells you the changes that you've made, and you can click on these and you can make the changes. There's suggestions on how it works and that type of thing. So Grammarly is very powerful. I think it's something that everyone should be using. If you have queries and questions, so if you have Turnitin queries, you send an email to turnitin@ukzn.ac.za, and Moodle or Grammarly queries go to learn@ukzn.ac.za. So these are the two most important email addresses in your postgraduate life if you're looking for IT support. That's where you get that. I don't know if there are any questions. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I should mention before I leave. There's no questions in the chat. Darshan, is there anything else you want me to cover, Prof? Anything else you want me to cover?
Yeah,
let me say one more thing. The postgraduate students will use SPSS or NVivo, which is qualitative and quantitative software that will assist you when you're doing your research. What I should do is, let me put in the chat, let me put an address here that will help you. HTTPS. Software rep. So if you go to that link, you'll see all the educational software that's available to you. I'm not sure if you guys are going to use SAS and GenStat and that type of thing, but we have the software available. It's freely available to all of you. So if your lecturer says, listen, you're doing qualitative research, you need to use NVivo, you go onto the site, you download it, you can install it. There's help guides on how to use it. That's quite an important email address for you. I'll ask the ladies to add this email address to this presentation. I don't know if they use SPSS for quantitative research, but it's more at a PhD level and a master's level. So I'm not sure if we have all of that in this class. Any questions from your side?
Yeah, I think there's one, Musia, you want to raise a question in a comment? Musia.
I think unmute. I can stop my share.
Yeah, just get off you.
Yeah, that's fine. Just ask any question, even if it was an error.
Oh no, she said hand raising error. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Let her ask any question.
No, there isn't a question. All right, I just want to emphasize, thank you very much, Vasu. We really appreciate you, having committed to your Saturday morning to share with our doctoral students, our Apex qualification students, this very important information. I think I must just correct something there. I think sometimes you were speaking the language of undergraduates. This is a doctoral program, colleagues. And of course, you, maybe Vasu kind of was speaking across programs. So clearly, from a Moodle perspective, you don't have lectures as such. If you do have, it may be more like workshop sessions, etc. So Moodle is your critical communication tool. Zarina and I, as head of program, will be uploading stuff, posting information, what is very critical to your program, right? So you need to go into Moodle and you'll get a reminder on email. I like to emphasize what Vasu mentioned is that please stop using personal emails, because the university links to your official email. And when you go to Turnitin, you want to use Turnitin and any other university provided services, it is sensitive. If you try to log in using your personal emails, you're going to have challenges. And then we find students coming saying that I can't get into Turnitin. You have not been using your student email. Your student email is issued once you are registered. You have a student number, a registration number, and that is generally incorporated into your student email. So it's very, very important. Vasu also mentioned the thing about Turnitin. Your first experience with Turnitin will be when you submit your research proposal, and of course, our tolerance in terms of similarity. So there's a difference between plagiarism and similarity, as Vasu mentioned, is that plagiarism has to be proven. You understand? We have to go through a process to determine what happened and why it. Whereas similarity could be as a result of poor referencing or incorrect referencing, and just copying and pasting other people's work and not acknowledging it in the correct way. All right, so your supervisors will give you incremental advice as you go along on this journey as well. But it's important that you familiarize yourself, get the attention, the key from your supervisor, not your lecturer. You have supervisors here. And of course, and use of Moodle. I think Zarina will communicate that to you as well once you're registered. And that's very, very important. All right. So thank you very much, Vasu. And I think we can have a 5-minute or 3-minute, just say 5-minute break, comfort break.
Prof.
Yeah.
Before you leave, there is a question, quite an important question here. I see from Subina Singh. If you submit a document on Turnitin and you need to resubmit based on changes made, can Turnitin record it as a 100% match? Very important question.
Yes,
and
yes,
this
just
can be a
that
problem.
And how, just explain now, do you remove old submissions, please?
Okay, so that's a very important question. And what I want to say is, for this particular question, so when you submit a document, when you submit your assignment, right? It depends on how the class is set up by the academic. If the academic sets it up for you to make 3 submissions, then it will not store the paper in the database and it won't compare it to itself and you won't get 100% record. However, if it's set up that the first assignment is the last assignment, then if you try to resubmit, it'll then compare it to itself. So it's important that the academic sets up the class correctly, and they will tell you, you have maybe 1 opportunity or 2 opportunities or 3 opportunities. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when you submit a paper, you have to wait, I think, 24 hours before you make another submission. So I think if you can just direct those questions to turnitin@ukzn.ac.za, we'll get a response back, and then maybe Rashan or someone else can just communicate with the class, because there have been some changes on Turnitin, and I haven't touched Turnitin in years, to be honest. So I think those are important questions, and also it'll help you, because the problems that we have with Turnitin are exactly those type of issues, where you submit a paper, it compares it to itself, and the number is really high, and then everyone tries to delete it, and then they resubmit in another class. So we get problems with this. So I think if you submit that question to Turnitin@ukzn.ac.za, the response that you get, we will we can have the rest of the class have that see that the response.
Yeah, it's important question Savina had, because your first submission will be your research proposal, and of course, you know, you're going to have subsequent submissions of that very proposal, because you'll go with corrections and you will have to make changes, and of course you'll defend that, etc., etc. And of course, sometimes some students submit every chapter to Turnitin, so they don't want to do the report at the end and realize that they were, you know, in chapter 1 there's errors, or chapter 2. Whereas we encourage them to, you have to submit your final thesis before it goes to examination. It has to produce nothing more than 10% in terms of similarity. So it'll pick up again your proposal, but there's a way in which your supervisor will guide you as well in terms of setting the system. And of course, you can send an email to Turnitin at UKZN. They would assist you as well. But there are frustrations. I know students do experience some of the frustrations, but there's a way, as Vasu said, if you don't set it correctly, then you're bound to have these experiences. So upfront, have engagement with your supervisor in terms of Turnitin, and clear up the air going forward, so you don't have frustrations down the line. Okay. Is there anything else, Vasu? Yes, you mentioned that the doctoral students will definitely be using software, SPSS and in vivo, because they will do qualitative, quantitative, or mixed methods research. So they will need access to the software. Okay, and then of course, thank you for Grammarly. You mentioned Grammarly. You know, one of the critical things in your doctorate is academic writing, because we don't at doctorate level teach you how to write. We expect you to know how to write. Write, when I say write, submit something written properly, you know, because your supervisor is not your editor. Your supervisor does not do the correction of grammar and those kind of things. But Grammarly, I found it a useful tool as a first step to ensure that, you know, what you submit reads correct. But however, Grammarly is not going to change the substantive nature of the content, the academic stuff. Grammarly doesn't do that. It's grammar, from the word grammar, Grammarly. It's how you write. For example, you write, I went to the shop to buy a loaf of bread. If you write, I went shop, bought loaf of bread, then Grammarly will say there's a problem, and it'll highlight those things. All right. So your thoughts are yours. And while you're there with Grammarly, and I will also, and while we have Vasu, I'm sure you're familiar with artificial intelligence. There's a lot of tools now that are available. And at the moment, GPT, I think, chat something else, chat GPT is GPT is being questioned, because, you know, it could create paragraphs for you, etc. But they said that we can use it creatively, but we cannot use it to basically write your thesis. So the university will conduct workshops on what to be aware of when using this particular artificial intelligence. There's others as well, you know, that sometimes you can dictate, and your computer will produce a text for you. So you have lots of tools, but there are also challenges, right? So you can't contract your thesis out for somebody else or for a system to write it on your behalf. All right. So with that said, I thought, thank you, Vasu, once again. Instead of creating time for you to go on a break, I'm sure because we are virtual, you can grab your cup of tea like I've done now, and, you know, follow the conversation as we're going along. You want to strip to the loo, take a comfort break, you can go across. If you want to stand, stretch, do whatever you need in front of the computer, you're welcome to do that, because we're not seeing. So I'm not going to have a break as such. We're going to move into the next session. Dashen, do we have Richard on board?
Yes, Prof. Richard is with us. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, good morning. Good morning again, students. We have the next critical node in our support for our students is somebody from the resource center. We call them Library and Information Services, to guide you, because that is your critical source or resource in terms of developing your thesis. I have the pleasure of introducing our university librarian, Dr. Richard Biharilal. Richard, you may go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you, Professor Govender and colleagues. A warm welcome to all students. Yeah, in fact, the library want to make your life much easier. As you know, all the speakers have at length stressed the dedication and commitment one needs as a student. And we are here to make your life easy by making all the resources and services available to you. And if you have any challenges, you're most welcome to
Richard,
email.
You want to...
The live program is to firstly the PowerPoint presentation, and thereafter we have a live demonstration about between about 10 to 15 minutes, just to give our students some some sort of information on how the library operates in terms of the interface of the different databases. Okay, so let me just start by saying that the library at UKZN, we have 5 campuses, and within the 5 campuses, we have 19 libraries, meaning that you can borrow books from any of the 19 libraries. Firstly, apart from the Graduate School of Business, we have books, and because our students come from different backgrounds, from medical, from other background, construction, and therefore we have different libraries, like architecture library, which one of the students, Ms. Samantha, mentioned that she is part of architecture. So we also have books there which can be available and made available to you as quick as possible. If you're on the campus at Westville, for example, we can get the book within 24 hours for you, or if you make prior arrangements days before that, we can get the books from any of the 19 libraries and keep it aside for you. Unfortunately, we don't post and courier books to students. You have to come to the library, but we also have ebooks, which my colleague will discuss a little later on. But as you know that the library is very user-friendly in terms of our activities. We value the time of the students, and we want to make all your experiences enriched in the quickest possible time. Basically, the aim of the library is to assist in teaching and learning. As you know, we work very closely with all academics from the school and other schools also, and we know exactly what their needs for the students are, and we have the regular communication and the books and the material that they order for the students. So that's a very valuable communication. We're dealing with the library and the academics, and which is beneficial to the students. And learning itself, the next part is learning where the student, for example, the student is expected to work closely with the library staff, especially the public librarians, if you want to do well. And don't look at the end result, for example, that you graduate as quickly as possible. While you have that in hand, that you want to graduate as quickly as possible, it's a process that the librarian will take you through that, because as I mentioned, that we are connected by the academics, we use ICS, and also other areas within the library which we can refer and connect the student to. And then it's the research. The research has many of the doctoral students have completed the master's degrees. They know what research is, but there are changes that's constantly happening. And we are here to sort of enlighten you on those changes and help you to take you through and make your life much, much easier. And I was listening very carefully to the Ms. Samantha Naik, and the lessons she mentioned and the processes, it is very, very important, and the library is in full support of many of those. Then the library webpage, we have the library webpage. You can from Google or from the university itself. You click on the icon, the first or second icon, you'll find the library. You'll see after the university homepage, you'll find the library is the second part, which is quite important. And you'll find the library homepage is very effective. And once you're in the library homepage, you don't have to go anywhere else, because everything is within the page, whether you are looking at Google Scholar or you're going to the other section. And the library webpage, there's two sections: the top section, which is the basic searches, and thereafter you'll have the bottom part of the library where it'll take you directly to all the links and resources that one requires. I'm not spending too much time because my colleague will explain, but what I want to discuss finally for students in terms of the library webpage is resources. The word resources on the navigation bar is important because all your important resources are there, and the off-campus access, which I'll discuss just now. Also, the status of the user is very important. As a master's and doctoral students, you are elevated in terms of the number of books and the number of days that you can keep. If you bought a book, you can, for example, the number of items you can borrow is 20, and you can keep it for 42 days, and you can continuously renew it should no other students have made a reservation or booking that book. So you can check, and the library will advise you, and you can also renew your books without bringing it to the library. We have, once you create a library account, which my colleague will discuss, and then you'll be able to do a lot of things. You can order articles, you can renew your books, and you can check all your borrowing materials that you bought from the library. The other important is the important links that we have, and these are the links that will take you directly to the resources that we have. And for example, some of the popular databases, the links are here. For example, Vasu mentioned EBSCOhost. Yes, you can see the EBSCOhost is there. We have ProQuest, which is very important. And we also have ProQuest theses, where you get thousands of theses from around the world. And therefore, with Prof. and Prof. Krishna, Govender and Vasu also spoke of plagiarism, and Dashian also spoke of plagiarism, because the whole thesis is available and from multiple countries in the world. And therefore, everything is there. And now that we are in the cut and paste generation, and it's easy for users, the students, to just cut and paste. But the similarity index of Turnitin is there to protect one, to say that you need to sort of use those resources, put into your own words, and relate everything that you learned and you read, try and put into your own words and work on your own, working on your own words. You develop your literature review and other areas. For example, when your thesis has later on, you have suggestions, you have recommendations, and make sure those are coming from you. And then we have the press reader, which makes life very important. I know the speaker spoke about it's a very tedious area of, in terms of studying. And the press reader is where you can read it, updated news, even South African papers, the national papers, international papers, and also magazines. For example, sometimes you want to go away from studies, you can read Men's Health, or you can read the Fur Lady or Vanity. All those magazines are available free of charge on Press Reader. Then we have the library LibGuides, which is very important, where all the training LibGuides are kept. So if you cannot find any librarians at the time of need, you can look at the training LibGuide, and you'll find we have LibGuides also for management studies, and where the subject librarians will put important information. And then you have the LibGuides for online training, which will give you all the video recordings. And you'll find in red, I have this link here, which one of my colleagues have done an extensive presentation on EBSCOhost. So this is a guide that once you use the guide, you'll be able to start immediately using EBSCOhost, and you'll be able to learn as much as possible. And then while on the campuses, we have lots of areas and infrastructure where that you can make yourself comfortable. For example, we have a media room where updated software and videos you can watch. We have study areas and also booking group study areas. You come to the library and you make a booking at the issue desk, or you see your subject librarian, they'll facilitate that. We have the photocopying facilities, and then most important is the research commons, where lots of our doctoral students find this place. It's for masters and doctoral students, but they find the research commons is one of the important places where they can meet fellow students and engage and exchange views. And we also have seminar rooms within the research commons where you want to work independently. So these are some of the important facilities that can be that is made available to you, and your subject librarian is key to facilitating these areas. Important also, when you outside campus, you need the VPN. It's called Global Protect Client. This is to get the full text of articles. Generally, if you don't have this software uploaded and connected, you will have just the abstracts from the thousands and millions of rands that we pay for databases. You won't be able to see the full text. You might have some open access material, but you won't be able to see the full text, full articles. So it's important, and we can, from the library web page, the bottom section will tell you how to upload this software. You can have it on your mobile, on your phone itself, or your iPad, or your laptop. You have, once you can download this, you'll have full access to the library, full resources. And these are the contact details of subject librarians. Once you click on the link, you'll find a list of subject librarians from all the different campuses, not necessarily Westford. Sometimes if you your studies, your area of research is medical, you can look at contact the medical subject librarians also on the different campuses. And then we have the link, as I mentioned earlier. Then we also have self-help videos which you can click on. The presentation is going to be made available to you, and so you don't have to take notes and worry about the links. Sharing the links, we will make this presentation available. And also important, in red, I have this link. It's the training. For example, if you don't grasp everything today, you need not worry, because we have training on multiple sessions on different databases from the 6th of March to the 24th of March. And thereafter, it's not the end. We will continuously have training, also a one-to-one group, and we're going to have for the whole college or the whole university will have training constantly. We'll have training. But if you want a one-to-one training, you can contact either my colleague Skello and myself, and we will facilitate that, and we'll take you through all the different areas. And EndNote is one of the important software which my colleague will talk about in a few moments. Thank you for being very attentive. My colleague will take you for a quick live demonstration on the library resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Biharilal. Thank you very much. And let's your colleague make the presentation, and then we'll take a few questions. There are one or two questions. In the meantime, maybe you can view the questions so that you'll have a response ready for them when we finish. Thank you.
Sigelo, you are on mute. Thank you.
Greetings to everyone. I am Stelo Shongwane, one of the librarians at UKZN Library. So we'll be assisting you with all your information needs. So this is the library web page that Dr. Biharilal talked about. And then I will be taking you through this, and then I will do a live demonstration on how to search and find information material. So you will have access to materials such as print, audio, and electronic material. So in order, especially to those who are working remotely, in order to access all our resources, you must be connected to Global Protect. If you don't have Global Protect on your device, you can come to the library webpage. And then if you scroll down from the library webpage, you will find the training, the opening hours of the library that you can take note. Most of our libraries are opening 24 hours. So under help here at the bottom of the library webpage, you will see this link, VPN connection Global Protect. If you click on this link, you will be provided with a guide that you can download, and then you will see the guide. You will have to follow the steps and then install the VPN on your device that you are using. Okay. So this is the library webpage. So this is the service, the resources. So I'm just going to focus on the resources. So for those who are working remotely, it is important that when you are trying to find material, you can start your searches by coming here to off-campus access. And then you will be presented with a list of database that you can use to find material. Okay. We subscribe to about 54 databases for the year 2023. And then some of these databases are subject specific. So you can, I will show you when I'm doing like the lab. So this is the open scholarship. So if you want to check theses that have been produced by other scholars, you can come here to open scholarship and then you click here on research space. If you click here on research space, you will be presented with the number of theses that have been produced by UKZN members. And then so they are grouped by communities. If you click here, you would see all these theses. PhD and master's thesis, also research articles. You will find all them here. Okay, just gonna go back. And then we also have LibGuides. We've got LibGuides here. If you click here on LibGuide, which is most important, I'm just gonna open it. And then if you click here on LibGuide, you will find all the guides that we have created for all our library users. And then some of these guides are subject specific. So we also got a general guide. So if you type UKZN online here, and then you click search, you will find a guide that we created. We keep on updating the guide. And then if you click here, you will see all the training, recording training that we have created. And then we have put it here on this guide, and then you can download them. If you don't know how to use iCatalog, you can click on iCatalog and view. If you wanna use SPCS and then you wanna watch a video about how to use SPCS and download it, you can come here and click on SPCS. You will find all the information there, and then you will be able to download those videos. But if you still, after watching these videos, you feel that maybe you need a one-on-one session with one of our library staff, please feel free to inform us. We will arrange to meet with you either virtually or come to the library. But those who are far away, we can meet via Teams or Zoom. So that will be made possible. So we also have got training videos, guide for EndNotes. If you click here, you would see all this information about EndNotes, which I will take you on later on. Okay, just gonna go back to the library webpage here, and then when you look here, so we've also got a library account. So it is important for all our members to create an account. So if you don't have an account, if you go to LibGuide, again, you will find a video that we have created and guide on how to create my library account. If you click here on my library account, you will be taken to this page. If you don't have an account, you can reset a password and then you wait a few minutes. You will then be able to create a new password, and then you will be able to come to this page. And then
here, this is my library account, and then you will be able to view how many items you have borrowed, how much you're owing to the library. Lebohang was saying on the chat, there are some articles that they can't access. They can only able to view the abstract. If you are presented with such situation, if you have my library account, you can come here and then you select a request. You can create a request. So if you create a new request, you will put all the details about that articles you're trying to access and then that the library don't have. You put the journal title, publication date, all the information that is relevant here. And then here at the comment, you put your email address. And then if it's a book, let's say if it's a book, maybe the book is available in other libraries, maybe at UCT or UJ, you can say loan, but if it's an article, you say copy, okay? And then you proceed with your request, and then you submit your request. And then usually the process, we will be able to supply you with that article within 24 hours. But sometimes due to delays, it might take longer, but not longer than 48 hours. Gonna come, so this is my library account. So I'm gonna come back to the library. And then here now, we've got also contact. So if you care, you can come here to subject librarian. So I'm just going to open this link. So you've got college email. So you can just send an email to the college. All the librarians from the College of Law and Management Studies will be able to see your request, and then they will respond to your email. Or you can direct your queries to Dr. Piarilal, or you can send it to me, s2@ukzn.ac.za. I will then be able to assist you with all your information. When you are searching here, it is important that when you have a topic that you want to do a research on, when you're finding information relating to that topic, you need to think of keywords. So instead of just typing the whole topic here, it won't help. So you must put only the keywords here in order to find the information that you need. Put keywords, and please do not use stop words. When I'm talking about stop words, I'm talking about words such as and, and, or all those words. Please avoid using them. Okay, so I'm just gonna just type here. We'll do just a general search. Okay, so it's governance and business. Okay, business model. Okay, business models, and then I will do a search. So if you are searching for a book that you got all the information about that book, you can do an advanced search so that you will find that exactly record. But if you can also start from here, iCatalog, and then it will search from all the databases from all our collection, and then it will find all the matching information that matches your search term that you have put here. Okay, there is a spelling error. Okay, I'm just gonna search again. Okay, so you must be careful, because sometimes if you're searching and then there is a spelling error, you might not be able to find the information that you need, yet it's available from the collection. So if you look here, we are searching, so you will then be presented with the number of results that matches our query. And then when you look here on the left-hand panel, you will see that we're searching from the libraries worldwide. You can limit your searches to University of KwaZulu-Natal only. Okay, this is the ebook. And then if you see this link where it says ebook, that means we do have access to the book.
Okay, you can be able to view this ebook. And then if I click here, just gonna click on this book, and then it will tell me which database is hosting this ebook. And then I can decide to view it either on EBSCOhost or on Taylor & Francis. I'm just gonna click here on Taylor & Francis and open this book. And then some of these ebooks, depending on the publishers, some you are allowed to download the whole book. Some other publishers, the monthly limits are depending on the user access. So it might happen that's when the book, it got like 1 user access or 2 user access. When someone is using it, you won't be able to view the ebook. But as soon as the person return the book, you will then be able to get access to that book. Okay, this is the book, and then you can see here it's on open access. So the book is the first edition, and then the year, and then when you look here on the right hand side, you can see that we can download this book, and then we can also read it online. If I want to download, I would click here on download. If I want to read it online, I will also be able to read this book online. So you can download and save it. So some of the questions that I've had from our students, that's whenever they are borrowing a book, if they're borrowing an ebook, that's what will happen. They ask whether they need to return the book. So if you are borrowing a book from these platforms, you're not gonna have to return the book. When the book is due, it will automatically disappear from the device that you were using. So it is important to be careful which device you're using to download the material. So please don't download the book when you were not using your own device, because the book will stay on that device. So I'm gonna go back here. You can begin all your searches. So I'm just gonna show you these databases here. So there are 2 ways on accessing this database. You can come here to resources off-campus access, or you scroll down to the library webpage, and then you come here and then you select databases. So if you select databases, you will find all the list of databases that the library subscribes to. So you can use EBSCO, you can use ProQuest, you can use Subnet, Sage, and other databases. So let's use EBSCO, for example. So I'm just gonna use EBSCO. I'm just gonna select EBSCOhost. And then I'm select EBSCO. Okay, I'm just gonna select continue here. All right, and then I can type my search here. I can put public innovation, and then I'm just gonna type, and then I can also use this field to add another search term here. Let's say maybe also need digital. Okay, and then maybe also I wanna add another search term here. I can put transformation. Okay. Okay, so you can use this term to add or to exclude, or like to search another related word, or to exclude search terms. And then once you're done, you can proceed with the search, and then to find the information that you need. Okay, so when we scroll down, so as you can see, all my search terms that I have put here on this search box, they are highlighted in bold here. And then as you can see, we can view, this is an ebook. You can limit this to full text or period view information. And then you can also limit them by the year of publication. And then you can view this book, you can read it online, you can download the full ebook of this book. So by clicking here on the download link. So let's say you wanna export the citation to your EndNote library. You can do this by coming here, selecting this book. And then when you click here, you can select, you can click here to cite. So if I cite, I will be able to export the citation to my EndNote library. If you don't have EndNote library, I will show you just now on how to go about downloading an EndNote library. You can come here and then you say save. And then the reference will then be exported to my EndNote library. If you don't have EndNotes on your device, because it is very important, you can type software rewrap .ukzn.ac.za and then proceed. If you are working remotely, it will ask you to authenticate yourself, and then you must proceed here, sign in, and then from here you select academic software. From here you come and then you click on EndNotes. If you click on EndNotes, depending on which device you are using, if you are using a Mac version, you will select EndNotes for Mac. If you are using Windows, you select EndNote for Windows. And then once you're done, you will click here the installation software. Once it has completed the installation, and then you come here, it will then ask you for the product key. You come here, you select this product key, and then you click Control C, and then you go to your EndNotes, and then you click Control V to paste this product key, and then you proceed with the installation. So once you're done, your EndNote library will come like this. On your side, there will be nothing on these references because there will be no references. You can then begin importing references to your EndNotes, and then you can create a library. You can save a library. So it is important that once you have downloaded, you just come here and then you compress your library, and then you send it to your email. You don't save it on OneDrive or any other online drives because that library will then be corrupted. And then you can create a new reference. You can create groups. You can find duplicates if you find duplicates. So another important thing, so that's when you are using this software, I have seen students that are experiencing that when you have duplicates, you can see here, I'm just gonna come here. I have duplicate here. If I'm trying to cite this reference, because now it is a duplicate, I might find some funny characters on my citation due to that there is a duplication. So you need to come here and then you say find duplicates, and then you keep one reference and then you delete. The other one will automatically go to trash, and then you come here to trash and then you remove everything here on the trash, because it's not gonna help if you still have some of those references sitting here on the trash. So you must remove everything here so that your references will be clean, and then you will be able to cite. And then also when citing here, it is important to check the style that you are using. So as you can see here, it's APA 7 that I'm using. Also on my EndNotes, it must also be an APA, because if it's Harvard here, this is my Word document. So the style here, if it's Harvard, then I might encounter a problem when trying to cite. So, but if it stays here as APA 7, I'm not gonna have any problem. Also check that the instant formatting is on. It must always be on, the instant formatting, and then you will then be able to cite. I'm just gonna make one example. Let's say now
Hello, you're waking up. I don't know what's wrong.
Oh. Okay.
Hello, I think you're buffering. Sorry, I'm not sure if your connectivity is going down.
He's fine on my side, Prof.
Let me close the
Okay.
window. Okay, sorry.
Also
All right,
fine
go
on
ahead.
my
Sorry.
All right. My apologies. So let's say I'm about to finish now. You were citing, you will put a cursor here. This is, we'll put the in-text citation, and then you go to EndNote, or you come here to say, insert the selected citation. And then that citation, it will automatically come here on your work, and then you will view, and then the bibliographic reference will come here at the bottom of your page. So, and then I can come here and then say page break, and then there it is, and then I will say references. So this is my references, and then your reference will then be listed alphabetically. So this is an in-text reference, and then if you need to change anything here, you don't have to change it from here. You must go to EndNote and change everything from EndNote. So if you want to change anything, you need to come to this reference, and then you must click edit. If you want to add or delete anything, you come here, you edit and click in. And then once you're done, you save. You can also download and view PDF from EndNote. You can search for PDF files. You can also be able to attach them if you already download them on your device. So all the information that is here, it is not perfect. So sometimes, let's say you have attached an article, sometimes depending on the platform which you have found the articles, it might come like this. So if it come like this, if you attach it manually to EndNote, if it come like this, that means it needs some editing. And then you can add the author, the year, because you can see here the author and year is missing, and the journal name is missing. So you can add this by coming here to edit and add all this relevant information here, and then you save. Thank you so much for your attention. Here's our contacts on the library webpage. If you come here, you will find all the contacts. So you can always reach out to us. We will be able to assist you with all your information. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sikelo. That was very informative. Sorry, Sikelo, sorry to talk across you. Thank you very much for a very informative presentation. I'm sure there's just too much for everybody to digest, but you've provided the various links and sites where they can go and get more information. They also have access to you and Dr. Bihari Lal. So, you know, don't feel despondent if students don't feel despondent if you think this is too much. We try to give you kind of an overview of the service, because critical to your study is the use of resources, your style of referencing, etc., etc. So thank you very much, Dr. Biarlial and Mrs. Sikelo. All right, so I'm cognizant of time. Fortunately, I have 10 minutes more for, what's her name? The Student Support Services, Ms. Ishara Maharaj, will please appraise our students on the support that's available to them, because as we all know that this journey, or the doctoral journey that can range from anything from 3 to 5 years, can be traumatic, you know, can be psychologically damaging if you don't manage your lifestyle and your studies carefully. Okay, Ishara, can you please, yeah, sorry, Ishara, can you please take over?
It's not Ishara, it's Zama Kanyile. I'm gonna.
Oh, Zama, sorry, you're coming into Alba. Sorry, Zama, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen.
Come to see, sorry.
Okay, I'm not gonna be long. I'm just gonna skip most of my slides in the interest of time. I'm Zama Kanyile. I'm from Student Support Services. Student Support Services is actually Student Counseling Center. And yeah, so we are all psychologists and we are registered with the Health Professions Council of South Africa, and we focus on therapy, psychotherapy, and counseling for issues like grief and bereavement, anxiety and depression, stress management, trauma counseling, adjustment issues, family difficulties, and relationship issues. So all our services are confidential and they are free of charge. If you are a student and you are registered at UKZN, you do not have to pay anything. We just see you, and our services, we offer our services. We have online counseling and also face-to-face. You choose. So wherever you are, it doesn't matter. I'll show you how you book sessions with us. So we focus on building skills like self-discipline, self-efficacy, self-esteem, self-awareness, assertiveness, emotional regulation, effective problem-solving skills, time management, and then it's important for you to develop a growth mindset. I completed my PhD last year in September, and I'm graduating in May. So it's possible you can do this, but you've got to learn all these skills. These are self-leadership skills, self-management skills, because if you are not disciplined, then you will set goals and you will never reach them. If your self-efficacy is low, you do not believe you can do this, then you're gonna have a problem. Self-esteem, do you value yourself? Do you value your goals? Do you think can you actually, I'm sorry, I'm just panicking because of time. Self-esteem, do you know your worth? Self-awareness, do you know your strengths and your weaknesses? Assertiveness, can you speak up for yourself? Because this is what you need to do at this stage, because family members will be asking you to do this and that and the other. Emotional regulation, because if you are angry, you cannot study, and that is why you may need to make an appointment to see us. Effective problem-solving skills, maybe you have a problem with your supervisor or something is going on at home. Those skills are also very important, time management, and also developing a growth mindset. I'm not gonna focus a lot on growth mindset. It's important because I've decided to run a support group for PhD students and master students. So if you are interested in joining the support group, all you need to do is to log on. It's the advert is running on our notices. That is why it's important to check your university emails, because then that is where you see all that we offer to support the students. So you can just join the Zoom meeting on the 10th of March at 3 o'clock if you are interested in joining the support group. So if you want to book an appointment, you can send an email to Norma Makatini, or you can go to our website and you go to our booking app, and then you click on book now, and then you can book an appointment. You can choose who you want to see. There are 2 counselors at Westville. It's me and my colleague, Nogwetemba Mbata. So you can choose who you want to see. It really doesn't matter, but our working hours are from 8 o'clock to 4:30. So you can only book within that time, not unless it's a crisis. If it's a crisis, you can contact RMS. And even if maybe you do not have an appointment and you experience a crisis on that day or trauma, you can actually send an email to Norma Makatini at makatini@ukzn.ac.za, and she will be able to organize a session for you with a counselor that is on a crisis slot on that particular day. Every day there is a counselor who is on a crisis slot. So even if you do not have an appointment, if you are not feeling great or something just went wrong, you are free to send an email to Norma Makatini, or you can call her on 031-260-7337 or that toll-free number to book an appointment to say, I need to see someone today. Thank you. Hello?
Okay, are you over, Zama?
Yes. Not unless you
Okay.
have questions for me.
No, thank you very much. Sorry, I hope we didn't put you under any pressure because you finished within 5 minutes.
No, because I skipped a lot of slides. Because
Yeah, sure,
I thought, okay, I
No
skipped
problem.
a lot of
Most
slides.
important, thank you. I think what was very important, you emphasized that because we understand, as a university, understand that this journey can be traumatic from a personal, from a work, etc., and via community perspective, etc. It's important that students understand that there is support, there is help. You know, they are not alone. And you, as you rightfully emphasize, that this focusing on the doctorate can impact their personal lives, marriage lives, etc. So it's important that they seek guidance when they need to, and we will provide the necessary support. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm always not putting my video. I'm sorry. They need to feel reassured that the institution will provide the necessary support, etc., etc. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Noma, Sama, and of course, Noma in absence. we got contact details. We will contact. All right. Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you very much for all your participation. And dear students, I'm sure you now realize that, you know, any apprehensions you may have had concerning this journey you're embarking on have now been allayed. Any fears you may have had might have been allayed. Okay, so what I want to do is that I know I'm very cognizant of time, so I will try to finish by 1. I just want to perhaps just map this journey for you from, you know, so that you understand now from the school's perspective, from this whole academic journey. All right. So when Samantha was presenting, she mentioned the word, you know, when you register, when you apply to the institution, you submit a proposal. I think she forgot to use the word, a concept note. So when you apply to us, when we screen your application, we saw what is known as a concept note or a research idea. So basically, it's not your proposal. Your proposal is a much more elaborate document that you'll prepare and develop with the support of your supervisors. So you've applied, we've screened you, we've looked at your previous qualifications, we looked at your concept note, and we looked at what is called your topic. Now, many of you put in a topic. It is not the title of your study because it's far from the title. Your title gets shaped as a result of interactions with your supervisor and with other students and with other academics. It gets shaped as you go along. So what we wanted to have an idea of what you are thinking of embarking on. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to emphasize that this is a doctoral journey. This is not, you know, a kind of a undergraduate program or a primary school, etc. It is, as we mentioned, the terminal qualification in any framework, any country, right? In South Africa, we call it an NQF level 10, means all your qualifications, your first degree is 7, your honors is 8, your master's is 9, your doctorate is 10. So there are minimum criteria and expectations of a doctorate degree. So we don't water down a doctorate degree and say, you know, some students sometimes apply and get registered and say, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. So clearly you have done a master's dissertation. Some of you who are doing the PhD may have done a full research master's. Some of you come by the MBA into the DBA. You've done a mini dissertation. So you have gone through basically a trial period of a research journey. However, the doctorate is much more demanding. It's much more demanding. It involves much more critical thinking. It involves much more independent thinking. It involves high-level academic writing. So we find that students also are challenged with the writing style. And just the other day, one of my students said, but you know, English is not my first language. I'm afraid the doctorate is in English, and we have all of us, you know, it's not even my first language. And I come from an accounting background. I was challenged. I was very challenged writing to kind of comply with the academic style of a doctorate, right? At a doctorate level, you got to engage, you got to synthesize information, you got to demonstrate that you have digested what you have read, you are now aligning it with what you want to do. You're not just copying and pasting from other people's work. There has to be a logical flow in terms of your thought processes. That's what academic writing is all about. It's beyond grammar and technical things. That's a given, right? So please, from the beginning, it's important that even your supervisors emphasize that from a technical aspect, you must make sure everything is sound, grammar, style, etc. Then from an academic aspect, that's very important. So I always say, when you're doing a doctorate, you're writing an academic story. You're going about writing an academic story, and you need to follow what is known as a systematic process. And in our case, it's called the systematic research process, you know, from the time where you conceive the research idea. So at this stage, many of you are sitting with an idea in your head. You try to translate that idea into a concept note. You will find that many of you, even your so-called title, you know, it's not well conceived. It's not well conceptualized. You just are throwing together a whole lot of words meaning nothing. So we return that, we say, please revise your topic, you know, align it to what. So we will have workshops. I will be conducting a series workshop where I'll take you through the whole journey from how you move from a research idea to a research topic to a research title, right? How you conceive your research aim, your objectives, your research questions, and your methodology. What is critical for you to understand is that there is a golden thread that runs through this entire study. And if you lose that thread, your study, your output, or your garment is flawed. So it's critical for you to understand that you embarked on this study process. Yes, you've conceptualized something that will still be shaped, chopped, panel beaten as a result of consultation with the supervisor. So the first thing is that we've identified, you must understand, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't have supervisors what we refer to as dime a dozen. The business school has limited number of supervisors, right? So therefore, you know, it's important that you manage this relationship with your supervisor very, very carefully. It's a very sensitive relationship. In fact, it's sometimes more sensitive than your relationship with your partner, because your partner might be more tolerant to certain things, but your supervisor has not only you as a student, several other students, plus the supervisors are academics. They teach on the master's program. They supervise at master's level. They are expected to deliver papers at conferences. They're expected to publish in journals. So therefore, you know, sometimes you might think that, you know, you're not getting the necessary service from your supervisor. Yes, you can escalate that to me. We will look into the matter. But, you know, we only change supervisors when it reaches a very, very critical stage, you know, when there's a point of what we call a complete breakdown in relationship between you and your supervisor, then we will try. But yet again, we can't guarantee you this, right? So please, the first thing you will do is that once we've registered you, right? Remember, you've applied, we screened the process, we've made an offer to you. If you have not accepted your offer and not registered, then you're not our student, right? You're just an applicant. Although we issued a number, don't think you're a student. So legally, you are only a student once you are registered. You paid your registration fee, then only you can start interacting with your supervisors, right? Some of you have the advantage of interacting with us informally. That is fine. But This is just an informal conversation. Some of you may have interacted with some of the staff in the business school informally. That's just informal as well, nothing formal. So the other day, somebody told me that 6 months I've been supervised by a certain person. But I said, you have not been registered for 6 months. How were you supervised? Right? So having an informal conversation with a colleague does not mean that you automatically been accepted, etc., etc. Somebody else came to me the other day and said, you know, I've been having this, my supervisor been guiding me for 6 months. Now, when I'm trying to get registered, they say I cannot be accepted. Why is that so? Yet again, I'm informing you that the students want you are registered. If you are having exploratory conversations with any colleague, you're entitled to have conversations with anybody in the school, right? You want to identify a certain person because in your application, you say, I want Professor Governor, I want Dr. somebody to supervise. Yet again, there's no guarantee you would get them because there's a doctoral degrees committee that makes this allocation decision, the final decision, you know? So the supervisor needs to agree, first of all, and because you don't know his or her workload, and therefore the committee looks at the entire workload and says, okay, this applicant wants this supervisor. However, this supervisor already has 10 students. So therefore we must find somebody else. So please bear with us in terms of that. Don't come demanding and fighting with us like, I asked for this supervisor, you're not giving me the supervisor. All right. So it's a process as well. And the doctoral degrees committee, of which I chair, as head of doctoral degrees, I chair that committee. There are panel members. We discuss the applicant, discuss the supervisor, discuss the study, etc., etc. So many of you have sometimes just clustered a whole lot of words. We don't even know what it means. You also need to understand that doctoral degree is not just copying someone else's work. It is an original contribution to knowledge. It's a contribution to new knowledge. Right? Sometimes students think that they will just go do something in the Tikweni municipality and think that is an original contribution. When the study was done at, you know, Nelson Mandela Metropolitan, what's called Nelson Mandela Municipality. So replicating a study does not contribute to new knowledge because it is acceptable at MBA level or master's level. Right? But at doctorate level, you got to present a new angle. Your study needs to promise new knowledge will be generated, which somebody else has not generated before. So please understand this journey that you are embarking on, that it is quite onerous. However, it is exciting, right? As you can see, many of the colleagues here today were there, the dean, vice dean, college dean, etc. So we all been through the journey. There's thousands of doctorates or hundreds of doctorates graduate throughout in the country, in various universities. So people are achieving it, but it's hard work, it's focus, it's sacrifices, it's dedication, it's willing to go this journey, willing to understanding what is expected of you. That is critical because your mind gets focused on what you need to do. Otherwise, if you think you're going to go on this journey and it's going to be a walk in the park, right? It's tough. It's been tough for all of us. It's been tough. You talk to people who have finished, they will tell you, oh my God, it's been a tough journey. But when you finally, like Zama spoke, that she just submitted last year, she got examined and she's going to be graduating. You know, she knows what a journey it was. It wasn't an easy journey. But if it was easy, then everybody would get a doctorate. We just issue a doctorate. You got to earn it. And of course, you know, in terms of quality, you got to meet certain standards. So if you go to the website, you'll even see it on Moodle, what are the doctoral standards? Meaning that the Council on Higher Education, which is the quality body for all higher education in South Africa. You know, you have Malusi for high school, you got the QCTA for the skills and FET colleges. For higher education, it's the Council on Higher Education. Right? You got SAQA, the South African Qualification Authority. they look at their level 10, NQF level 10. What are the descriptors at level 10? So if you go to the various websites, you'll know what a qualification at NQF level 10 entails. Let me give you a simple example. At level 10, we don't speak about, you don't say you're going to just explain and describe and name things. No. That is at level 5, at high school, even primary school. At level 10, they expect you to critically analyze things. They expect you to critically review things. They expect you to systematically analyze. They expect you to synthesize things. So that's what makes the various nodes on the qualifications framework, So at each level of the qualification framework, they expect the thinking to be pegged at a different level. So this is what a doctoral journey entails. I have a student who's really battling at the moment, one of my students, and she says, I don't know where to start. I said, but you've got to start with the research idea. You gave a concept note. The concept note is very weak. Let's start from the beginning. What is it you want to do? So this is also not an MBA. Even if you're doing a DBA, it's a doctorate. A DBA is slightly different from a PhD because a DBA is a vertical progression from your MBA. So it means that the kind of study you're going to do will be embedded in a business problem, in a business context, in an organizational context. Right? Whereas a PhD is, you can come with an MCom or an MSc, right? So it's multi and transdisciplinary, meaning it's come from across disciplines. Whereas a DBA is a vertical. From your MBA, you are applying knowledge, etc. You're also not doing a research, what is known as a project. Many people come say, okay, I want to do something in an organization. In fact, a student the other day said, but I'm going to finish in 2 years because I'm already done this in the organization. I presented it to my board. They're happy. So I want this to become my doctorate. I said, hold it. What you did for the organization is called a project, right? Your thesis is an academic project. It's not typical project you'll do like writing some kind of software program to improve efficiency in your organization. That's good for the organization, but you need to demonstrate from the time you had conceived the research idea, how you went through the journey, what methodologies you followed, what other research you have read, right? What you've gathered from the others, what is the gap in the knowledge? Because remember, you're contributing new knowledge. So there's a gap in the knowledge which you picked up and said, I've read around this topic. Sikolo spoke to you about the various sources. He spoke to you about keywords you're going to use, to look at what has already been done in your area. And then when you read, right, in your research proposal, we'll discuss proposals at another workshop, but that is where you'll demonstrate that I've been reading around this. I've consulted various most recent sources. Also critical is that when you consult your sources, your references should not be more than 5 years old, right? Unless, of course, it's seminal work. Seminal meaning something is pioneering and it's still valid today, but many other people have cited or referenced this work more recently, right? Sometimes students will show references which are all old, 2004, 2000, etc., 1968, 1980. So I asked the question, have you read that article? Why did you go to read such an old article? So it's important to go to a more recent thing. How relevant is that to today? So when you read and write, you present a case to say, I've read around this area. It seems that much work has been done in these spaces. However, very little seems to have been done in this area or this space or regarding this particular problem. Therefore, I want to investigate it. So you're demonstrating that, wow, You have now picked up a gap in knowledge, and then you're going to go through the systematic research process in order to resolve this problem, in order to come up with a solution to the research problem that you have identified. So critical is understanding the research problem, understanding the research steps, right? So many of you have done research methodology. Samantha said sometimes we'll have lectures, right? There are various support things. One of them is the thesis lab, right? The thesis lab is a repository of support for students on research matters, research methodology. Many of you have done research methodology. You've applied that knowledge in your MBA or your MCOM or MA or MSc, whatever it is, right? But undertaking a doctoral study, you got to demonstrate you understand, you have a higher level of understanding of research methodology. You've selected a methodology, a particular research design, because, right, you've been convinced. You got to demonstrate and motivate why you're doing such things well. So we have the thesis lab, all right? Last year, we conducted advanced research methodology modules in the evening. Now, because of the, you know, the chaos with load shedding, we've decided that we won't conduct those workshops again this year, because last year as well, it frustrated students, frustrated us as facilitators, because the schedule is changing all the time. Today, I'm not sitting at home, I'm sitting at another place. I've requested family member to allow me to use the facility because we have load shedding at home. So these are challenges we're going to face. But nevertheless, there are some workshops. It's called the UCDP, University Capacity Development Program. We will post that notice and information on Moodle. Zarina has already, I think, done that on Moodle. So Moodle is critical for you as a communication medium, you know, in terms of how we would communicate, post notices, interact with you, you know. So you need to make sure that you go onto Moodle from time to time or every day and check. But of course, you will get emails asking you to go to Moodle, that something has been posted on Moodle as well. So Zarina is going to assist in that regard in terms of, all right. So as I said, the minimum time period for a doctorate is 3 years, and the maximum ideally is 5 years, and thereafter you would have to apply for extensions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's important that you understand and you take responsibility for your studies, because we're sitting in the administrative part, Zarina and I and Dashen and Naika, dealing with administrative matters because the student was irresponsible. The student did not read the rules and regulations, right? So it creates a whole lot of workload for us. And as I said, at doctorate level, we don't regard you as nursery school students. We don't hold your hands on. You are independent, you're out there, you even working with your supervisors, etc. You submit chapters from time to time. Supervisors, some of them, which I do, we will say, where is my chapter? But sometimes you just disappear, right? Right. So I see somebody's putting the thing about finishing in 2 years. Yes, no. There's a CHE requirement. We need to look at our program template. There are things that you can full-time, depending if you're full-time or part-time. As what's the name said in the beginning, College Dean of Research said that although you're registering, theoretically you're registering for full-time, right? You are a part-time student, because very few of you are, doing the doctoral. Most of you are working, right? Some of you are qualified for fee remission because you indicated that you'll finish in 3 years. When 3 years, by the time you graduate, becomes 3 years anyway. You're on your 3rd year of graduation, but you can, if you do attend full-time and finish it. So what is important, the point I'm trying to say is that the qualification is registered with the Council on Higher Education. And on that, it's stated, for example, 3 years full-time and 5 years part-time, etc., etc. That in terms of requirements, yes, as Tebelo is putting, they can complete in 2 years. Complete in 2 years, one. By the time you graduate, is normally on your 3rd year, right? So it depends how you work and what kind of support you get from your supervisors, right? Remember, you are not the only student. The supervisor has other students. We don't know their workload, etc., etc. So it's important to understand all of these. We understand that you have work and family life commitments. Therefore, from time to time, your health might not be good. So for whatever reason that you want to defer your studies, you are entitled to that. However, it's important that you apply. While you're still registered, you apply to us, say, next semester, my company wants me to do A, B, and C, or they promoted me, my responsibilities are much, I want to take a break. So you apply formally for deferment or suspension of your studies. You don't just disappear and come back after a semester without having been registered. So you registered for every semester. So that's very important as well. Your supervisor might remind you, but if you go to the rules and regulations, you got to register every semester to be an active student. The moment you're not registered, you're not our student, you won't get any support from us, you shouldn't be even supervised. Right? So, and if you disappeared for a semester and we're not registered, and you come back and say, I had problems last semester, you know, we had a new baby, or I got a new job, I had to move countries, whatever it is. Know that we understand that. We sympathize and empathize with you. However, you should have applied before. Now you got to, because you disappeared, you got to apply. You get excluded because we think you disappeared. So you're no more a student. You are technically deregistered. So you got to apply once again to get it. So that's a long process. And that gets approved by the college board, not the school. That takes time as well. So I'm alerting you to these things. If you are more responsible, take full responsibility for study and ownership for this thing. It is your project. We will remind you, some supervisors remind you, no doubt. But all right, so critical is this relationship you have with your supervisors, because the moment you are registered, the first thing we'll do is say that you need to sign this agreement or contract with the supervisor. It's called a supervisor-supervisee contract. You sign there. You have this first meeting with the supervisor, a long one. He or she will understand who you are. He or she will understand your learning style, your study style, your work commitments, your personal life, etc. And you agree on timelines in terms of how often you submit your chapters. And they will tell you, well, if you submit, you get a feedback within 2 weeks, etc., etc. So that's a very critical relationship, right? We said that over your journey, right? Your supervisor gets to know you, you understand each other, you're spending a lot of time virtually. If you want to meet over coffee, if you're in the same vicinity, you're welcome to do it. If you are in, let's say, in the Durban area, you say, I want to meet you on campus if it's possible. If there are full-time staff members on campus, they will meet, make arrangements. But we can't prescribe that to you or to the supervisor. The relationship was between two of you. And also what Samantha mentioned as well, it's important that every meeting is recorded. You must use your official emails for all communication. Otherwise, if you use Gmail and things, unofficial, and we can't track it, we can't trace it. All right, so as I said, we want to wish you once again all the best on this journey. You are privileged because you have been selected from all those students who applied. Some of them could not get on board. You've come on board, we have allocated a supervisor, and we will support you based on all the conversations we had, all the interactions you had today. We want to wish you all the best on this journey. And I thank you for participating this morning. I more or less wanted to finish at 1. I managed to, go through this as a marathon. We will have sessions. You'll watch Moodle where we're going to have workshops for you as you're going through the various stages of your journey. We will have workshops on developing your proposal where you will be able to interact with us. And most of the workshops I do conduct. As I said, thank you once again. You can go and spend the rest of your Saturday with your family and go and reflect on what happened today, right? So I'm looking at some questions here. Alistair, you here, that's good to see you. Tibelo, what opportunities does a DBA present? I'm not sure what you meant by that. You mean after you finish your doctorate? All right, so yes, proposal defense is one of the processes. As I said, once you've registered, you get all the information sent to you or the links provided by Zarina on where you can get the information that's going to help you on this journey going forward. Thank you once again. And as I said, I'd like to take leave, all of us. Thank my colleagues for sacrificing their time and presenting here today. Zarina, Dashen, Sikelo, Piarilal, Professor Muller, Samantha, Zama, and whoever. I'm sorry if I missed out any names, but good luck on this journey.